Hey everyone, today I'm going to be stress testing 9 different types of thermal paste to see which one is the best to have on your PC. In order to do this, I'll be grading them on 3 different categories. Max temperature within 10 minutes, which is just how hot it gets within 10 minutes of stress testing, and then highest temperature, which is the hottest it will get until it reaches a point where the temperature no longer wants to go up, and finally price per gram, which is the price you pay for the thermal paste for every gram. In order to perform these tests, I've built a cheap PC with very little airflow with the Ryzen 5 5500 and its counterpart, the AMD stock cooler. To stress test, I actually created my own program that stress tests each of the 6 cores of the CPU at 100% load to give us the best possible stress test and really see which thermal paste holds its ground. But before we start, I'd like to continue to do tests like these, as well as other things such as reviews, so any support means a lot. So if you enjoy the content, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment on what other things you want to see on this channel. It's very much appreciated, and we do enjoy any feedback we can get. With that out of the way, let's get to it. Before we pull out our different types of thermal paste, we wanted to use the standard paste that comes with the AMD stock cooler to figure out a more neutral point. So after running our tests, the stock paste reached 91 degrees within 10 minutes and reached a max temperature of 94 degrees. Now because this paste comes only with stock coolers, we didn't include a price per gram. When it comes to applying the paste, I prefer to make an X to connect all the corners of the processor and then applying 4 little dots in the gaps, just to ensure everything is covered properly. I'll be doing this with every paste I test so there is no factor left untouched. Onto the thermal paste we'll be testing. We have 9 different pastes. We have the Corsair TM30, the Arctic MX4, the Vetroo stock paste, the Deepcool stock paste, the Ectotherm paste, the Noctua NT-H1 paste, the Scythe stock paste, the ThermalGrizz Kryonaut paste, and finally the ThermalRight TF7 paste. Let's start out with the Corsair TM30. Upon running the test, the TM30 reached 80 degrees within the first 10 minutes, which is 11 degrees cooler than the AMD stock paste. After its testing, its max temperature reached 84 degrees, which is 10 degrees cooler than the AMD stock paste. Next, we're going to the Arctic MX4, which I was honestly expecting to do the best out of all the pastes I've tried, so let's see how well it did. After 10 minutes, it reached a temperature of 79 degrees, which was 12 degrees cooler than our AMD stock paste and 1 degree cooler than our TM30 paste. After its testing, it reached a max temperature of 96 degrees, which was actually 2 degrees hotter than the AMD stock paste we used. Our next thermal paste is the Deepcool stock paste, which comes with most Deepcool coolers. Within the first 10 minutes, it hit a temperature of 95, which was 4 degrees hotter than the AMD stock paste. And after testing, it reached a max temperature of 96 degrees, which, like the Arctic MX4, was 2 degrees hotter than the AMD stock paste. So not really that good from Deepcool. Going forward, we have the Ectotherm thermal paste. Upon testing, it reached only 77 degrees after 10 minutes, which was astounding 14 degrees cooler than the AMD stock paste. The max temperature also only reached 79 degrees, being 15 degrees cooler than the AMD stock paste. This also means that it performed 3 degrees cooler than the TM30 within 10 minutes and 5 degrees cooler than the TM30 in the max temperature category. Our next test is going to be the Noctua NT-H1 thermal paste. After 10 minutes of testing, it reached 83 degrees, being 8 degrees cooler than the AMD stock paste, with a final temperature of reaching 87 degrees, which is 7 degrees cooler than our AMD stock paste. Next, we've got the Scythe stock paste that comes with Scythe coolers. After testing for 10 minutes, the Scythe paste reached 83 degrees, matching the NT-H1 and beating the AMD stock cooler by 8 degrees. Its final temperature reached 89 degrees, beating the AMD stock paste by 5 degrees. Our next thermal paste is the ThermalGrizz Kryonaut paste. After the 10-minute test, it reached a temperature of 83 degrees, tying both Noctua and Scythe, then reaching a final temperature of 88 degrees, this being 6 degrees cooler than the AMD stock paste. With 2 thermal pastes left, we go to the ThermalRight TF7. Upon testing, it reached 80 degrees after 10 minutes, beating the AMD stock paste by 11 degrees. It then reached a max temperature of 86 degrees, beating our stock paste by 8 degrees. Finally, we move on to our last paste, which is the Vetroo paste that comes with the Vetroo V5 coolers. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much of this paste when I started the test, but soon enough we reached the 10-minute point and it only got to 78 degrees, losing to the Ectotherm by only 1 degree. The Vetroo paste then reached a max temperature of 83 degrees, losing to the Ectotherm by about 4 degrees in that category. So for our final results on the max temperature within 10 minutes, we have the EK Ectotherm winning with a max temp within 10 minutes of 77 degrees, with Vetroo coming in very close with 78, followed closely by the MX4 with 79. As for total max temperature, we again have the EK Ectotherm coming in first place with a temperature of 79, followed by Vetroo once again, but with a temperature of 83, and then Corsair TM30 with a temperature of 84. As for pricing, the Deepcool has a price per gram of $2, the TM30 with a price of $2.67, EK Ectotherm with the best temperatures out of every paste in both categories costs a cheap $1.10 per gram, the Arctic MX4 priced at $1.35 per gram, the Noctua NT-H1 prices at $2.56 per gram, the Scythe paste, even though it had moderate temps compared to the rest of the paste, costs a whole $4.44 per gram, making it the most overpriced thermal paste on this list. The ThermalGrizz paste costs $3.06 per gram. The ThermalRight TF7 costs about $3.15 per gram. And finally, we have the Vetroo thermal paste at $3.40 per gram. So I mean, if it isn't obvious already, the best thermal paste is going to go to the EK Ectotherm with the coolest temps in both categories and the cheapest price per gram than any of the other thermal pastes. Now, when I originally started this test, I did not think the EK Ectotherm was going to be up there. I mean, I knew it was a good paste, but I thought it was going to get topped by the MX4 or possibly the Corsair one, because those are the ones you always see on everyone's lists. But no, the EK Ectotherm came out on top in both categories, and it was cheaper, because after I did all the tests and I looked at the prices, the EK Ectotherm was the cheapest one, and I was really surprised by that, considering it does have the best cooling. If you guys want to check out the thermal paste for yourself, they're all located in the description below. If you guys want to see any other specific types of videos, let me know. I'm planning to upload a system integrator review in the next week or so. Be sure to subscribe to check that out. Thanks for watching, and again, thank you for your support. It means a lot, and I'll talk to you guys next time.